Good evening, Munir. Good evening.
Hello, Helmuts.
Hey, long time no see.
Absolutely, my friend. How have you been?
The summer is here in the UK. Probably not as yours.
Yeah, don't tell me. It's 50 degrees. It's super humid outside. If I look outside right now, I barely can see anything. So
50 degrees by Celsius?
yes, yes.
Oh,
Well, not right now in the evening, but during the day. I mean, it's not that bad, to be honest, because the humidity helps. If it would be dry, then yes, that's a problem. But I've been in Dubai for 27 plus years. This is my hometown. So basically, yeah, I'm used to it.
50 degrees. That's crazy. Munir, maybe you could quickly give an introduction on who you are, where you are from, and yeah, let's roll on.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Helmut. First of all, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to having this chat with you. I've been following, your fireside chats on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and I knew the day will come and I'll be one of the guests here. So thank you for having me. So to start with, I'm an internet entrepreneur based in Dubai, as I just said. I started a web hosting and a domain name registration business many, many years ago. This was a project which I've built out of pure curiosity to how the internet works, how the HTML works, and so on. So I'll take you back in time, the year 2005, end of 2005, 2006. I'm living in Dubai with my parents, just finishing high school, and we've got a nice Pentium 3 computer at home, dial-up, 128 kilobytes internet connection, that sorts of things. I don't remember which Windows we had. I believe it was, the Windows with that beautiful green background, maybe Windows NT or XP, cannot remember now.
Yeah, 95 probably, yes. Or
I think 98. Yeah, I didn't catch 95. I think it was 98. Yeah. So and then I've basically started to wonder, how do all these hosting companies and domain registration companies work? And I started looking up information online, and then I was bombarded with offers of becoming a reseller or an affiliate of a web hosting company. And I remember I compared offers, I looked around, and pretty much they were all looking the same to me. You get a reseller account of hosting. You can create your own accounts on that server or a VPS, or that was a shared hosting account, actually a shared reseller account based on cPanel, WHM, or even Plesk. And then the second part was, of course, domain name registrations. And I started understanding, okay, you buy a domain at X amount, you add a margin, you sell it at Y amount, and so on. Then I started looking up a billing panel. And again, if you ask me why I did it, I did not have a business plan. This was never a planned business. I was a student. This was just something I really liked. Instead of playing, I mean, I used to play lots of games like Counter-Strike and everything else, like all the guys my age back then. But I don't know, I just had to think to understand how this whole process of creating the domain name, the automation behind it, the whole process when you check out. Right now when we talk, it sounds so easy, paying online, Apple Pay, Google Pay,
yes,
just check out. But back in the days, for me to understand the process of paying online, and then this payment initiates something in the background that creates the domain name, creates the hosting account, you receive a welcome email. I mean, it all sounds super trivial right now, but for me that was something I was very curious about, as weird as it sounds. And I remember I started using a billing system. It doesn't exist anymore. I believe the name was whoiscart.net.
who is gone? Okay.
Yeah, they don't
I think
exist
I've heard of
anymore, I believe.
yes. Okay.
And I just plugged in the tool on my website. And since I'm based in Dubai, I was wondering, okay, why do I sell just .com and .net domain names? What is the domain name in the United Arab Emirates? And the extension, the CCTLD, is .ae. So I simply added the .ae to the shopping cart without thinking about where will this lead me. And that's it. I left the website running. I would go back to school, had exams, then traveled during the summer with my parents. Didn't even have internet connection. Again, keep in mind, this was 2000 and end of 2005. Summer of 2005, I believe. Yeah. And then once upon a time, I decided to go to an internet cafe to check my email, and then I opened my email maybe 1.5 months, after it was the first time that I checked my email.
Okay, awesome.
I see a notification from Whoiscard, new order confirmation. I'm like, wow, okay, what's happening? So I checked the order, and there was a gentleman from the United States. I still remember his name and the domain name that he booked. So it was my first .ae domain name order, and he paid with PayPal. I mean, I had a PayPal account,
Yes.
and I think that was the first payment I received in my PayPal.
Bang, awesome.
And he paid 10 years in advance. So just so you understand, let's say if the domain name costed, the cost price was like $50,
Yes.
Cost price, I would sell it for like $150. So my margin was, very high. And X10 for
Very
10
smart,
years,
yes.
you can imagine how big that amount is. So for me, I'm like,
Yes.
oops, okay, this is a serious order. Now I have to process it. I had no clue how to register the domain name. The good thing is that I think we were already planning to go back home to Dubai. I think in 2 weeks. So when I reached Dubai, I started researching, okay, how do I register a .ae domain name? What is the process?
Yes.
And before the year 2007, the official or the only registry was our only ISP provider, so our internet service provider, which would offer us the phone, the landline. They were responsible for the domain names.
Is that the state company? Yes.
Yes, it's the state
Okay.
company. It is called Etisalat. It still exists. Right now they rebranded. Now it's called Etisalat by E and Company. So now they are a bigger group. I believe they bought some shares of Vodafone and some other companies. So they're a large organization right now. So and then apparently the whole process was pen and paper. So you had to print the form in PDF. Print it, fill it by hand, and then you have to fax it to the registry. And obviously, I didn't have a fax machine at home, so I would go down my building. There was a little stationery shop. Pay like few like dirhams, our local currency, to fax the paper to the registry. I obviously didn't have a credit card, so I borrowed my dad's credit card, thanks to him. And that was my first order. And then I would actually wait sometimes up to 7 days for the response to come back saying, congratulations, your domain name has been registered. So I acted as a sort of proxy. Yes, thank you. As a proxy service where you, Helmuts, sitting in London, you would need a local representative in the UAE to register a domain name for you. And this is exactly, and again, just for a moment, I didn't know that this opportunity existed. I discovered this opportunity when I got my first order. So usually people, they plan their business and do a business plan. For me, it was the other way around. So long story short, I processed, I think up to like 500 or 600 such orders, pen and paper. And then came the year 2007. And in 2007, the United Arab Emirates government decided to create a telecom regulator. It is called the Telecom Regulatory Authority. Right now, it's called the Telecom and Digital Government Regulatory Authority, so TDRA. And Ayana redelegated the CCTLD to them, and it became a registrar model until today. So we were I was obviously invited to participate because everyone knew me and they knew there is this, kid, Munir, sending us so many faxes. He should be one of the first registrars to come on board. And I still remember the day I received a call from, I believe, the DHL or FedEx, and they're like, there's a package for you. I'm like, what package? I didn't order anything. It was a very heavy, one of those thick cardboard invitation booklets that you open, and there is a booklet, a brochure inside. Yes. We are inviting you for the first public consultation session related to a new registry. And to me, again, even though I registered 500 domains, I still had no clue what registry, registrars, resellers, API, EPP. So this was a learning curve. I quickly partnered up with some friends of mine because I needed like a legal entity, a bank account. So there were partners initially in the company, but there were silent partners. We worked together, and then rest is history. So today we are the second largest out of 23, I believe, locally accredited .ae domain name registrars by market share. We are also a registrar in the same style in Qatar for .qa and in Bahrain .bh. So we are considering ourselves, and we are in fact a local presence web specialist. So we basically help clients from all over the world to establish their local presence in the GCC being the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, right, and United Arab Emirates, obviously, and Qatar. So that's our primary business. And then, of course, web hosting. We've got our own presence in Dubai in terms of data centers. So we've got cloud, dedicated servers. We do offer co-location services as well. And this is the bigger picture right now. So we sell all other domain extensions. We are a reseller for them, but our primary focus is niche and local, and we do what we do best. So we speak the local language, we understand the mentality, we are based here, we are available, people can visit our office, we have like 24/7 support. That's really our business. So yeah, that's my history.
That's also, is it still the case when so if I want to buy a AE domain name, do I need a local presence or not? Not anymore.
Oh, very good question. Thank you for highlighting this. So all the three ccTLD extensions which I mentioned, the AE,
Yes.
QA, and BH, they are the so-called unrestricted domain zones. They are just like .com. Any person from any country can register these domain names instantly. They're all EPP driven, so you can go online, search for helmuts.ae.qa if it's available. You just buy it instantly. And again, there are registrars from all over the place, not just local registrars. Actually, the majority of registrars that are accredited are international companies, like the top 5, the top 10 companies we all know about without mentioning names right now. So that's the case. It's actually super easy to register the domain name. No documents, nothing. I mean, even in Europe, you still have some countries that require a local presence. Sometimes.
Let us start with EU.
Yeah.
Let us start
exactly.
with the daddy one, EU.
Absolutely. That's and they are. I mean, the policy is really transparent. The registry is, or I would say, the registries of these the domain names are very active. They are promoting the domain extensions. Everything is published on their websites, including statistics, how many domain names are in the zone. So, for instance, the .ae celebrated 300,000 registrations in May of this year. This is
Wow.
the absolute milestone, and this makes the .ae the largest domain name in the whole region, in the Arab world, in the MENA being Middle East, North Africa. So that's really the case.
And how many people are there in United Arab Emirates?
So the UAE is around 10 million by population, and
Okay.
a very interesting fact is only around 9.5 to 10% are local Emiratis. The rest are being expatriates from all over the world. So it's really an expat country. But again, it's very tolerant. You've got multiple religions, everyone living in peace, everyone doing business together. It's a country made for business, for families, for safety, security, and the list goes on. And in fact, Dubai has been on the map recently, especially after COVID, based on how they reacted to the COVID, how they overcome COVID. Yes, we did have one of the harshest lockdowns here for the first few months, but United Arab Emirates was one of the first economies to open up globally, and the tourists were flocking in here, I believe, as early as the new year of 2021. Yeah. So from 2020 to 2021, the New Year's Eve, it was absolutely the busiest time here. Yes, then came another wave, but let's not talk about negative stuff here right now.
No,
So
no problem.
yeah, it attracted so much talent, so many people. They've introduced so many things like remote visa, no, like nomad visa, IT visa, golden visa. You name it, you have it. So people are just flocking in here. Buying real estate, opening companies. It's a tax-free country. Well, until the 1st of June. So they introduced corporate income tax for the first time. But again, the rate is just 9%, and there are lots of exemptions. So it's 9% corporate income tax. There is no personal income tax, no other sort of tax, and we have a 5% value-added tax on goods and services, which is a
Okay.
consumer tax, basically. So this still makes the UAE one of the most attractive companies in terms of the tax regime.
What about the, and to everybody who are watching, hello, this live stream, I believe in different accounts of Host Maria and London Domain Summit. If you wish to ask a question to Munir, and this is a very, very rare chance when you have such a man from MENA region answering our questions, please go to Host Maria's YouTube channel, or yes, that would be the best way. Please go to Host Maria's YouTube channel, find the live stream and ask your question there, and then we'll put up the question here on the screen and Munir will open it. We'll answer it. Munir, I have a question about Binance. Last year when I met you, God, you left a good impression. You told that Binance.ae was sold for what amount?
All right, so this is a bit of a controversial sale, in my
Yes.
opinion. Well, that's my opinion, but
Thank you.
however, this sale was a publicly reported sale on via Sido. So Sido.com apparently sold Binance.ae for 300,000 US dollars. If you go on namebio.com and you look up the history, this was one of the most expensive domain names sold in the aftermarket. Again, I don't know the details or the particulars about this sale, and not going into the legal implications, Binance
Yes.
being a trademark in many
Exactly.
countries globally. So it's a bit of a weird deal, and it did shake the ground across local domainers, because local domainers started all looking up into the .ae space, and the other countries that I mentioned. So yes, it kind of ignited this new generation of domainers as well, looking to flip domain names, which is it's a good thing and a bad on what because the policy, for example, in the .ae doesn't necessarily prevent or allow selling or reselling of domain other ccTLDs. So
Okay.
I'm not in a position to consult or say if it is an approved practice or not approved practice. Is this happening? Yes, this is happening. There are a lot, and there is an automobile portal that is being built. The last time I checked, and this was 100,000 US dollars. So a very, very big milestone deal in .ae domain names. There was a .com, AE domain, and a QA domain name, and the average price of these names was around 15,000 euros. So that was an user transaction. It came through our aftermarket. So we have an aftermarket service on our website where different clients list their domains for sale, not just at AEserver, let's say
Yes.
after NIC or CIDO. Our system integrates and syndicates invest or not invest. Again, I'm a registrar, so we do not actually encourage these practices. But from what I read here, Mohammed, is like you are mentioning Emirates Lunar mission. This is, I believe, a UAE government initiative. So picking up a domain name which, violates a certain trademark or prevents the original owner, from acquiring this domain name is bad practice, right? is registration in bad faith. So in general, and this doesn't apply just for AE, this applies for all domain names, and AE is being very strict about trademarks. I would suggest you to go over the policy, to read through the policy, and then decide into what domain names to invest. I mean, you might argue ELM is generic, E can be Electro, L can be Light, M can be Munir. That's also true. So it all depends on how you market, how you sell it. There is definitely there is a very uprising trend of domain name sales in the aftermarket. If you look at the 2-letter, 3-letter names, I recently brokered a 3-letter name as well. So yes, 3-letter names. So it's the classic. It's the shorter the name, the more sense it makes, and especially when you have letters like E, which could be electronic, Emirates. Let's say if you have a letter B, it could be business, F could be finance, and so on. These names are always premium. So answering your question, yes, the short names are, of course, a great asset to have. And rest is your art. I mean, if you're a domainer, it's your art on how to sell or broker this domain name.
And maybe stay away from the government.
I mean, this is a very general piece of advice.
Yes.
Again, registering any domain name in bad faith. Okay, here is a great example. I just remembered. So
Okay.
a day after Ron Jackson published the sale of domainday.com to me,
Okay. Yes.
I received an email from a gentleman saying, "Hey, I have domainday.ae," like literally 5 minutes after Ron Jackson
Yes.
posted his post. And I haven't replied to this gentleman. I mean, if you're listening to the show, here is your answer. I mean, this is, I would say, a very stupid tactic. I mean, because you are not only registering a name which infringes someone else's rights, but you're also emailing me directly saying, "Hey, buy it." I mean, if I go and open a UDRP case and the AE and QA and BH are all part of the YPOS UDRP process, there are big chances this name will be taken away. This is not domain investing. Domain investing is when you use your logic, your common sense, and your forecast of the future to buy great generic dictionary category killer names, or some generic names that might be picked up by someone else. But registering a name of a government initiative or of a conference or of another company, that doesn't really make sense. That's not a long-term business, or
Absolutely.
if we can't even call this a business.
Oh, I have received quite a lot of number of London domain.coms, .co.uk's, these ones, that ones. Even somebody was smart enough to register my first name, second name, Helmuts Meskonis.com, and redirected to the name pros.
Yeah.
And I said, why? Okay, good luck burning your money, but plain stupid.
Yeah, I think I know the answer here, and well, not the answer. I believe I understand the logic, and this is the common pitfall. Let's call it the common pitfall of a new or an aspiring domainer, right?
Okay, yes.
So everyone, because that's what my friends ask me. My friends, "Hey man, you sell domain names. What if I book Microsoft.ae and I can go to Bill
Okay.
Gates and sell it to him?" Back in the days, right, when Bill
Yes.
Gates was still the CEO. I'm like, no, that's of course a stupid idea. No, why? Because this is just the logic. This is what people think. People think you pick up something that someone else didn't pick up, and that's how you make money. And that's not how you become a successful domainer. So again, visit the London Summit, the Dubai Domain Days, and learn from professional domain investors how to make money.
Yes. In the UK, we have Nominate, and Nominate has a page of UDPR cases, and like 90% more are in the favor of the claimants.
Yeah, very common. If you go on the WIPO UDRP page for AE, just look the past 2-3 years. You'll find Philip Morris, the cigarettes, all these, those heats, whatever they call them. So many transactions. Then you have like Ferrari, Lamborghini, all
Okay.
these brands. I mean, it's as you say, it's 99% are decided in the favor of the compliance. So
Yes.
so that's how it is.
Well, in our cases, we have also professional domainers in the UK. There is an old culture of domainers who
Yeah.
fight back, and then there are some companies who just. And also, we know that there are companies, they create a short name, and then they want, and then their name is not available, and then they are trying legal ways to get a domain name. But on the other side, there is a professional domainer as well, and then
Yeah.
it isn't as
Yeah.
easy.
I mean, I think it's a natural learning curve for a new domainer. They make some mistakes, then they realize their mistakes, or they post around on forums like DN forums saying, "Hey, I have this domain name." Then they receive like reaction, people laughing at them or saying, "Hey, dude, you will never sell this. This is trash." And then again, this is a ladder you go up with, and then you start learning. And the beautiful thing about our business, I mean, today in the year 2023, is that you have so many resources available. If you
Oh,
just
absolutely.
go on, let's say, domaining.com and read through all the syndicated content that you have through various websites, various news sources of the domain names, forums, you have so much information. You can literally ask a question and get an answer within a few minutes. And this is the beautiful part about the communities that still exist. So um, again, if you have any questions and you would like to have a bigger picture, or a wider, let's say, opinion based, then just go on the forums. Again, you have so many forums where some people just sit there for fun. They like to read, to be updated. Other people's really contribute. They like to answer every single. I mean, I was back in the days part of a very big web hosting forum, which exists until today. And I would also post about the local content because I knew about the situation of local hosting, local data centers, and then I would see
Yes.
someone posting completely wrong, contradicting information. So I feel it's my job, because I'm trying to, contribute to the community, to go and explain. So I wouldn't go and say, "Hey, you're wrong, you're saying nonsense." No, you approach it in a professional way. And this is the beauty of the forums. And again, what's posted there stays there forever.
How big is your own domain portfolio as investments?
Um,
There are
well,
definitely domain names that belong to your businesses,
yeah.
and
So I maintain a very small portfolio. So I'm not a domain investor myself.
okay.
I have mostly domain names in the gtlds.coms. Like back in the days, I did manage to acquire some nice four letters, like four L's .com domain names. I managed to sell a few through Sido. They were very quick flips. Like I would catch a name for like $69 or $89 and sell it for $890. And this happened to me many times. But I am not an active domain investor myself. I'm just focused on the registrar business. I do hold, some personal domain names for my other businesses. I do have some other ventures as well, so those are some nice names I have. But yeah, I'm not investing into any names at this time.
Okay, and but still, you do have some names as investments, yes, or not? Not really.
Yeah. Just in the GTLDs. I mean, as a matter of fact, we as a registrar, we do not we are not allowed to register domain names on
Oh, I
our
see.
right. So
Yes.
this is a bit of a different culture compared to let's say the ICANN policies. I mean, if you look at the way, for example, dropcatch.com operates, they have thousands of companies ICANN accredited, and then they have access, to the APIs and the EPP, and they manage to catch every single domain name out there. On the other hand, in the region where we operate, for instance, it's clearly mentioned that domain name warehousing by the registrar is not allowed. So we do not hold, I'm not allowed to hold any domain names as a registrar. So that's the case, and I believe this applies to many CCTLDs that we operate in. Not where we are accredited, just where we are a reseller.
Yes.
It's the same. So this is a very important component of the policy to understand. So, and this is your answer. I mean, I would happily have a few domain names for myself. So I do have a few which are business related with our business, like server and technical domain names, but not the other way around.
Okay. I Before I put up the next comment, I just remembered a while ago I did find that in Moroccan, what is Moroccan extension CCTLD?
Morocco is .ma, I believe.
Or MR. No, okay. Anyway, they had a very, very nice two-letter domain name, or actually several of them. And I thought, okay, I'll grab them. But then I was smart enough to go and check the registration rules, and they clearly say you are not allowed to sell these domain names. Absolutely,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Morocco is MA, but what you're
Yes.
saying right
Okay.
now reminds me very well of the recent case of Nixie in India. You know, the .in registry. There is some situation right now where they are about to pass a new law preventing domain name buying and selling, which is, yeah,
Okay.
that was
Yep.
publicly published recently. And I think a few lawyers and a few, public community groups are involved discussing and debating that. So this is one case where, let's say, and IN is a nice domain name for domain name hacks, like so many English words
Yes.
with
India.
IN.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
even seen lots of celebrities and well-known businessmen and owners of large internet companies. I believe I've seen even someone at Twitter using .in because his family name ends with IN.
Really.
So,
Okay.
and again, we don't know what's going to happen. I haven't really followed the story closely, but I'm looking forward to attend a few policy-related events. So, we are more on the business side of the events, like the
Yes.
London Summit,
Of
Domain
course.
Days, Dubai. But I also attend policy-related events, not just ICANN, but the Middle East DNS Forum, as I mentioned. And then there is also an event which is called the APTLD, Asia Pacific Top Level Domain Conference Forum. I believe the next one is in Seoul, in Korea, South Korea,
Okay.
in
Sold.
September.
Yes. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, there, and that's where you get to meet the CCTLD operators, the policymakers, and you start getting some hints and information from them of what's about to change or what's about to be implemented.
Yes. Okay. I do like their approach, Moroccan approach. When I saw it, they are economically weaker than many other countries, and at least based on my knowledge. And then they're just protecting their market, and that's smart.
Yeah,
That's smart.
that's
Why
that's
not? They,
very,
they,
very
they made a
common.
decision, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's a very common practice for CCTLDs because, again, if you want to be in the wild, wild west of domain names, go for a GTLD. There are so many GTLDs, and then there is a new round of applications around the corner, right? But CCTLDs, they are in some way a national resource or national identity of the country that they represent, and the
Yes.
countries have their own rights, just like the official language or be the religion or whatever. And, anything else, they have the right to have their own policies. There is nothing wrong about it. So when you have some upset domainers saying, "Oh, I registered the domain name in this CCTLD and the registry
Okay.
deleted the domain name." Again, you haven't read the policy, my friend. You have to, and if you didn't read or you didn't have the time, at least ask the question. Again, back to the forums, because I'm sure you're not the only one who thought about this. Just
Of
go out
course.
there and ask the question. So not knowing how, the saying, right? Not knowing the law or the rule doesn't make you
Yes.
innocent, right? So
I remember my first desire was still to buy those domain names. They were so nice, and I love those two-letter domain names, and I love Morocco. Haven't been there, but for some reason, really, really love
yeah,
Morocco.
that's
And
on
I,
my
then, I, then, I,
bucket
then
list.
I, and you want them so much, and then I thought, okay, I cannot sell them. Okay, I will rent them.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I dropped the idea, and everything is good. So here's a question. Relax Realm is asking, hello, and thanks for this live. So I have $20. Could you give me the principal steps to pick my first domain name as a beginner in this industry? Okay, very decent question.
Well, for $20, I would say your best bet would be to go into the .com and try to generate some nice, maybe using ChatGPT, lots of AI tools now, generators to generate a fancy name. It might sound completely wrong and weird to 99% of the people, but there is a very high probability that this exact name would be required by someone else, maybe 10 years from now, maybe 20, or maybe next month, you don't know. So because for $20, that would be a hand registration of
Yes.
a domain name that's available, and most probably a GTLD, the common GTLDs, because if you start looking at anything CCTLD or anything that's in the new GTLDs, the price ranges for these names are through the roof. So some of them are $50, some of them are 100, some of them even have a renewal price, which is premium. So yeah, just go for a .com, think of a nice name. What is Google? Google is also a very generic name. So using the Google example, come up with a name like Google.
Like Brandwell, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, random, something very random. It should also sound nice, shouldn't be super long. Always, maintain the first rule, which is a short domain name. Again, if you go for like a 15-letter character domain name, try to avoid numbers, hyphens, all the typical things that most domainers would say to avoid, because these components make the value of your domain name very low. And then the search engine optimization guys will tell you the hyphen is not good, even though this is debatable. Many factors are involved. So yeah, go for a .com. Just find a nice name that's available.
My suggestion, if I may, we did fantastic live stream with Audis Global. They work in SEO domain names. And if you have $20 only and you wish to play, so this is the money for you to be burnt. Create an account at Expired Domains. That account is free. Create an account. Create account at Namecheap. Currently at Namecheap, the domains .com domains are sold for free. Not for free, sorry. With a discount for the first year. And then find Ahrefs backlink checker. Watch the live stream. Watch the last live stream, HostMary's last live stream about expired domain names. Find a domain name .com. Find only a .com domain name with domain authority 30 plus. If you can get 40, you will definitely get back your money. Find the best possible domain with clean backlinks. Put up a landing page. Quickly put up a landing page. Hey, we have acquired this domain name, so do not lose. So this page, this domain still needs to have a website, and then go and sell this domain name on forums or where in which niche you bought this domain name. That would be my advice for the first $20. Buy 2 domain names. You will need probably 1 day. You'll be searching at least 1-2 days to find the best possible domain name. But please, before that, do watch the live stream with Audis Global. Their live stream was gold. Absolutely. Munir, what do you say? Have you bought some SEO domains? Yes. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to add, and again, you just highlighted the same point that I mentioned. Again, you are referring to a previous live stream, right? And this is the beauty. There is so much data out there. Again, on those live streams, on the podcasts, on the forums. Again, just go do your homework, do the research before taking a decision. You can buy a domain name in a click, but is this domain name going to make you happy, or by selling it, or maybe you will keep renewing it for 10-20 years? And trust me, time runs very quickly in real life, but in domain names it's even much quicker. So right, but yeah, I totally agree with you, Helmuts. That's a great strategy. So just learn. It's just like anything else. Before you start cooking, learn how to cook. Before you fly an airplane, just learn how to do it.
And that would allow him to get a quick sale. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Is it, like high page rank or high domain
Yeah,
ranking.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And he will learn how to transfer a domain name as well. So everything will be there.
yeah. I mean, well, the strategy you described is a really great strategy. Expired domains is a really good platform. I see domainers from our region also using it for local domain names, and then
Yes.
you have the beautiful breakdown of the page rank, not the page rank, sorry, the domain authority, and all these MOS and Ahrefs and everything else. That's really a nice way to judge. And again, so most domain names on expired domain names were actually all of them are domain names that were previously owned, but you can also try, if you're registering by any chance a unique domain name that has no history, that was never ever registered. I mean, you can always use tools, let's say from a provider like domain iq.com or domaintools.com. Just get a free account or upgrade for a few dollars. You get an account with many more limits. And again, I'm in no way affiliated with them. I just use these tools sometimes to do research for our own clients, and these tools are worth every single penny because they save you so much time, and they're really good tools. I mean, this is business intelligence analytics. You get the data because having not just vast amount of data, but having accurate, refinable, understandable data is what makes the data valuable. And then you having the correct data will definitely score the bullseye. You will get the right decision. So don't rush spending the money. It's very easy to swipe your card, well, not swipe, but enter your card details online, and then you end up with having, trust me, you start with one domain name, you end up with having thousands. I mean, I've seen clients at AEserver just burning so much money on domain name.
God.
We review orders, we have team calls, we segregate clients. Okay, this is a domainer client, this is a retail client, this is a corporate client, and so on. And sometimes when we just go through the domain list out of our own curiosity, we see names, we're like, oh my god. Well, again, it's good. I mean, for us, obviously, we cannot complain as a business because this is revenue, this is market share, but at the same time, we are in no position to consult or comment because that's not our business. That's none of our business, I would say. We are a neutral registrar platform offering access to everyone. And I now remembered the answer to the previous question.
For the favorite.
For the favorite. So
yes.
For the favorite domain sold, actually, it was a very interesting. It was one of the longest deals. It was for a company based in Dubai. It was a .com domain name. So it's not really a favorite domain name in terms of me liking the domain name. It's just the most, I would say, favorite deal I was involved with as a domain broker. It was a local construction giant that's established in UAE and in India from 1960s, I believe. They even have trademarks for this name. So if I can refrain from not mentioning the name because I don't know if they want it to be. I mean, I know this is your question, but I'll tell you the story, and trust me, the story is more interesting than the domain name question. So, initially when they approached me, I mean, I obviously knew who the company is because when you drive and you see the logo of this company, it's on the street, it's on billboards because they do lots of construction. Contracting work like road works, pavements, buildings, and so on. And I'm like, oh, wow, this should be easy. I mean, the guy who's selling the domain name has no clue what he's got into. And that's a UDRP case through WIPO if the client approves. And, we try to get the domain name. So then I'm very happy. I'm saying, yeah, that's an easy deal. Because it wasn't really listed for sale initially. We had hard time, finding the details, the contact details, but then through digging and researching using multiple tools, actually, sometimes you have to go through multiple tools to dig in the previous history. I managed to find a working email which responded to us, and the amount that they asked for was like crazy. I mean, it was not $1 million, but it was like a upper five. Actually, no, it was like a six figure amount, like a mid six figure, and absolutely. I mean, I know the client, they would never pay this amount because they would rather use the existing name that they have. This was more of just brand protection, or someone from the corporate, from the IT said, we need this domain name. And I called up my good friend, my lawyer, in Canada, and I'm like, hey, so there is this case, maybe you can take this case. And he did some research, and he's like, man, I'm no way going against the current registrant, because the current registrant is a known, well, not a cyber squatter, but he's known for having hundreds of UDRP cases filed against him, and he, in many cases, most of them, and more than 50%, wins the
Okay.
cases, and then he files a reverse domain hijack against you. So I'm like, how is this possible?
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
a construction company. I mean, you see, this is why it's interesting. It's
Yes.
a favorite deal I had. And I'm like, how is this possible? I mean, this is a trademark. These guys have a trademark from India, from the 60s, and in Dubai and everywhere. And this domain name was obviously registered much later. He's like, Munir, I'm not taking this case because, again, it's not about the money. Even if I take it, chances are we will lose it, and then your client will have $1 million reverse domain hijack, and he
Was that a
sends
dot? Was that a .com?
was a .com domain name. Yeah, it
Okay.
was the .com
Okay.
domain name.
Okay.
If it was .e, then it would have been easier. So there is also UDRP. Just a side note, UDRP WIPO process as well for AEs, but usually the registry is the first line of action. So if they're always very fair and neutral. They request documentation to prove the relationship
Okay.
between the name, and if you just out of the blue woke up one morning and decided to register a domain name of some famous company, then obviously it's a bad faith registration. So they would give you some time to respond, or in good faith just transfer the domain name. And in I would say 90% of the cases, we see the register, the abusing registrant either doesn't reply or says, yeah, I don't want the hassle, just take the domain name away. So it is
Okay.
solved locally, amicably. But
So returning to the story, so Canadian, the main
story,
Canadian lawyer says, Munir, look, let us avoid this case.
yeah,
Let us avoid
absolutely.
this domainer. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I started finding that person, and that was 2019. I was
Yes.
mid of 2019. I go back to the client. I'm saying, listen, gents, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Or in this case, Dubai, we have a problem. This domain name, unfortunately, the lawyer, and this is a really high-end pro lawyer. I mean, if he said so, I mean, I didn't even bother asking a secondary opinion. And I told them, listen, you have to pay, unfortunately. And then they also did some mistakes. So what they did is, before they contacted me as a broker, they also somehow managed to contact the registrant of the domain name. I don't really remember the case. Either that registrant contacted them directly, or
Yes.
they somehow also digged up. I mean, those tools are available. I mean, they're open source tools to
Yes.
find the whois data. And they made a mistake. So they revealed their identity. Now he knows that they need this domain name.
Bang.
It's
And he knows
like,
that the
yeah,
fish is there. The whale is
absolutely.
there.
And you
Bang.
are the only fish in that pond, because again,
Yes.
if Helmuts wants London.summit, I know it's only Helmuts who want the domain name. So
Of course.
this was a pure case. And I'm like, man, and they didn't tell me this initially. They only told me this at a very later stage, because initially this was a very like random exchange over email. There was no face-to-face meeting. And then I went to them, I met them, I explained to them, I showed them my history. I told them, look, I'm probably the best person with the most knowledge and connections in the region to get this sorted for you. So, fast forward, I started negotiating. And as I said, the asking price was huge. It was like $200,000 or something. It was a ridiculous price. I mean, for $200,000, you can buy so many great assets, and then just rename your company.
At that time, even two-letter.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then what happened is, then COVID came. Yeah, you see, every time we do a conversation or a
Nice.
webinar, we
Okay.
always
Yes.
talk about COVID. I mean, there is no way to ignore COVID. Yeah, COVID came, and of course, them being in construction, again, they took a hit and they just disappeared. And then I think there was a turnover of the people in the company, and these people left the company. And then I started following up with them, I think, in early 2021. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm looking for Mr. X, we spoke about this domain name, and his email is bouncing, saying he's no longer working for the company, who's working for IT, reaching out on LinkedIn, because I knew this is a high value deal. As a broker, we charge between 15 to 20% for such personal deals, because those are personalized deals we make, initially, and then actually later on, the head of IT, who was still on the team, whom I haven't yet spoken to, but he knew about the case. He called me up and he said, listen, come to our office. Let's talk seriously, because we are back to business. We are back after COVID. We have the money. We have a go-ahead from our management. We need this domain name, but it has to be a realistic price. So I started, approaching the seller, and the seller turned out to be a very, I would say, arrogant and charming gentleman at the same time. I mean, he would send me, maybe someone from the audience out there will realize who I'm talking about based on his style of talking, but he would send me WhatsApp video recordings of his face and saying, hey, Munir, listen, this is the best domain name your client can get, and this is, blah, blah, blah. And he would really intimidate me and push me into a corner, saying, if today you don't close, in 1 week you don't close this deal, then the price will go double, triple. I'm like, listen, I don't care what you say. It was nuts, but it was my first time experiencing it.
Okay.
I already Googled him and realized that's his style of selling, right? And then, long story short, we went through, it's like a love-and-hate relationship.
Awesome.
We blocked each other. Yeah, we blocked each other on WhatsApp, on all the messages, didn't speak. I told the client, and then the client also disappeared. And then I think it took me overall 2 years and 8 months to close the deal. But eventually there was one occasion where he said something. The seller, something slipped. I cannot remember what, but something slipped through his tongue, that something about money, cash flow, partner needs money.
Okay,
and I
he needs
realized
money.
that's where
Yes.
I'm going to catch you. So
Back.
I took a very defensive position, and I knew what was my client's budget. He was a mid 5-figure. And sorry, if you are listening to it, you could have heard mid 5-figure. And I managed to close it, I believe, at around, it was slightly less than $15,000. So all the way from $200,000. The client was ready to pay, honestly, up to $70,000 for the domain. And I've never seen clients in Dubai really wanting that name so bad, that .com domain name, and understanding the value and willing to chip that big amount of money. Because I've dealt with so many clients, with government entities, with private investors, millionaires. They would never chip in that amount because most of them didn't understand the value of domain names.
Yes.
These guys also didn't understand the value to 100%, but they just need the name. I think they just wanted to end the story once and for all. And yeah, that's my favorite. Sorry, not domain name, but favorite transaction. Because domain names, I don't have a favorite one, in the sense that all domains are different niches. So, but sometimes, it takes 3 years to broker a domain name, and it's patience and persistence to do it.
It reminds me, I have this beautiful 2-letter, so cp.be, Belgium domain name.
Okay.
Beautiful. And there is a central point.
Oh.
And Central Point is an online e-commerce store. They operate both in Netherlands and Belgium, and they are centralpoint.nl and centralpoint.be. And I did reach out over LinkedIn to the Central Point and had a chat, and I said, look, you can, and their traffic was going up on Belgium, and it just made sense. In Belgium, there are so many languages, really so many languages, unimaginable. And the conversation was so long, and then the guy disappeared. And I found out that he has left the company, and he hadn't told anybody about the domain name. He was planning to purchase it for himself, and then to work with the company, work out the deal with the company. Deal that never happened. I still own this domain name.
Yeah, well, you never know what will happen,
Of course. The
right?
name is way too
Just
beautiful. The
keep
name,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course. So, Sam Charles, do you remember Sam from the last year?
absolutely. Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'll be hoping to come to Dubai soon.
Please, you are most than welcome. And again, just a spoiler, our early
Hurry,
days.
hurry up, Habibi.
Yeah, Habibi, come to Dubai. Our so Habibi means my dear, and there was a very famous, not a famous, actually, a group of influencers on Instagram started, like posting some nice videos with desert, just like here. I'll show you.
Yeah.
This is it's a futuristically rendered picture. So the past and the future. That's why I love it. So this is not a real picture, even though many think this is real. Um,
Yes.
and there's a song like Habibi come to Dubai, my dear come to Dubai. All the influencers are using it. So we're also Habibi come to Dubai. It's a great place. November is going to be amazing in terms of the weather. Our hotel is on the beach, so you can also get some time to explore the city, enjoy the warm beach. It's safe, secure, have like maybe 50 restaurants walking distance. This is really the epicenter of
Yes.
everything that's happening in Dubai, the Palm Island. It's a man-made wonder of the world officially. So
So, what are the taxi prices?
taxi prices.
Yes. The same
Okay, so
as in Europe?
no, I would say slightly cheaper than Europe.
Yes.
So so
Do you
according
still
to
have Uber, something
yes,
like that?
yes. So we have Uber, and everything is, again, it's all in partnership with the government taxi, or the so-called limousine companies.
Okay.
Um, Dubai overall, if you look at the map, the whole city is built along the shoreline, so it's
Yes.
very easy to commute. You have like three main highways that go parallel to each other. The main one being the Sheikh Zayed Road, or SZR in short form. Sheikh Zayed is the founding father of the United Arab Emirates, and from the airport, let's say, to the Palm Island where the hotel is, it's a 22, 23 kilometers drive. So during evening times, it's going to take you around 22 minutes. So consider 1 minute per kilometer. That's how much time you spend here, because all the highways are very high. They have high speed limit, like 110, 120 kilometers per hour. Very great infrastructure, beautiful buildings, skyscrapers on the way to the venue. So you would pay around. So airport taxi is a little bit different from the city taxi, as in many countries of the world.
Okay.
I would say you will pay around $35 from the airport to the hotel. So again, let's say $1 per kilometer. We can
Yes.
estimate it this way. But on the way back, it will be around 20% cheaper, because there is no this airport tax. That's the hotel. So overall, yeah, Dubai is all built along the shoreline. Everything is very easily accessible. Dubai is not really a pedestrian place, which might sound weird, because every household has multiple cars here. Like, I know I have multiple cars in my family, and most of my friends have many cars as well. Car is just like a bicycle here. So it's a key element in a household. But the place where the our venue, it's on a beautiful boardwalk. So there is, like, I believe, 10 or 15 hotels within the vicinity, all walking distance. So you have a choice of staying at multiple hotels. Even though for our event we've secured an amazing almost 49% of the standard rate, because November is the start of the peak season for
Yes.
tourists in Dubai, the best weather. November, December. Oh yeah, private jets. We have a private jet terminal. So Sam Charles just mentioned about you and him coming on private jets. Let's sell some cool domain names and cover up the expenses. But absolutely, you can even fly with a helicopter. You can arrive by boat. You can skydive. So the skydive Dubai, which is one of the most amazing experiences you can experience in your life. I've done it 3 years ago. It was a birthday gift from my friends. Skydive over the Palm Island. It's beautiful. I mean, if you are in Dubai for a few days, you have to do that. You obviously have to go to the biggest mall in the world. We have the Museum of the Future, which is this oval shaped building It's officially called the most beautiful building on earth. It's just beautiful. It's a very futuristic museum. It's also good to visit with kids if you're coming with kids. So many attendees to the main days Dubai are coming with their second halves, with their spouses, wives, kids as well. And this is why we've chosen this nice location, because I understand many people are coming for the first time. So keeping them in a business district, in a business hotel, wouldn't make much sense, because we still want them to enjoy Dubai. And we see room
Yes.
reservations. People are booking a few days before the event and staying longer. So our room rate is valid from the 28th of October to 5th of November. So you have almost 1 week, even though the event is only for 3 nights, like 2 day, so three days, 3 nights, right? Um, make the most use of it, because there's
Sorry. Is the event for 3 days?
No. So the event is 2 days,
Two
November
days.
1 and 2 days,
First and second.
two
Yes.
nights,
Okay.
right? Because you check in one
Yeah.
night before, right? So you would
Yes.
do
Yes.
2 nights, just to get some rest, especially if you are flying. And another beautiful thing about Dubai is that Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi being the capital, by the way, um, you have direct flights from 132 destinations. I mean, you can fly from Perth, from Canberra, from from Miami, from Dallas, from Seattle, from Toronto, from Montreal, from London, obviously, all
And
direct
even
flights.
from small countries like Latvia.
Small countries everywhere.
Yes.
Latvia,
Absolutely.
you've got Sri Lanka, India, Mauritius, Madagascar. You've got like just almost about any country, because there are so many. We have like a couple of national airlines. We have a low coaster as well, and yeah, it's the airline itself, Emirates, and the other one, the Etihad. They are both like one of the top ranking airlines in the world by safety, by service. The double decker A380, very well known in London. When I think they fly like 8 or 10 flights to London every single day, and on those double deckers, it's just crazy. So yeah, and
Yes.
yeah, and I'm coming myself to the London summit in 22 days, right?
Yeah. And which day are you arriving? 21st, 20th?
I will try to. I haven't booked my tickets yet, but
Okay.
I will try to arrive. I believe at least 2 days earlier and stay
Okay.
for the event, and again explore the city, and maybe continue somewhere north.
Oh, so you're not going directly home.
No. I
You
need
have
some
other
time off.
plans as well.
I need some time off. it's been it's been a crazy period for us planning for domain days and the other operational
Yes.
concepts. But I'm very happy and grateful and thankful for our synergy, this
And
reciprocity that we're
friendship?
maintaining with our organization. So handshake, a very firm handshake, because I believe what we are doing is building the community first. My event is not business driven. Of course, naturally, you get the awareness, you get the visibility, the publicity. That's great, and we deserve that for our effort and time. But we bring people, like-minded people, together, and professionals, because this is exactly how I met you, how I met hundreds of the people, including the
Absolutely.
sponsors and attendees that are sponsoring me today. 8 years ago, I never had a plan of building the event. 15 years ago, I never had a plan of building a server. This is your investment. You invest your time into different things, and when you invest your
Absolutely.
time into networking, this is the best thing. And our events are all about networking, getting to know each other.
And
You
now,
don't
when
know.
you are organizing an event, it is for you just taking up your phone, taking up the old business cards, and going and, hey there, hey, do you remember me? Of course, Munir, I do remember you. What's up? Let's just have a chat. I have this idea, and then you
Absolutely,
you can
Helmuts.
dig
And
into your contacts, into your yes in person.
absolutely. And the tools that are available, the social media. I mean, I believe our niche, talking about domains and hosting, I mean, without
Yes,
naming, but go on Instagram of the largest registrar in the world or the biggest hosting company. Look at the post. I mean, I know we are not influencers. There is really nothing to film. I mean, if you go to a data center, you film servers. That's not really interesting compared to what
yes,
other food bloggers. I know our field is boring for this, but we are missing out, me, you, and everyone else, because just looking at all the big profiles, no one is doing a lot in social media. And if you look at our LinkedIn, our Instagram, what we are doing for the event, we are trying to show Dubai. We are remixing some videos, some popular videos from the Dubai
Yes.
tourism and others, just to showcase Dubai and generate some nice content, because we obviously, our audience know what domains are about and what the event is anticipated to be, but we want to show them a great site. And look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all about the connections. One post can go viral. You can ask your colleagues or friends to repost it, to
Absolutely.
comment. It just works. We should, in our niche, all the domainers, domain investors, hosting companies, registrars, SaaS providers, cloud, stop being old school. Go on the social media. It's not only for food bloggers, beautiful ladies out there and everything else of that sort. Just start putting valuable content. And this is exactly what I've been doing this year. I've been working on my personal brand. I've been posting content. I've been working with a videographer. Whenever I go for some awards or events, I spend money. It doesn't. You also need good content. So don't be cheap. Invest in good equipment, good team. You don't need to have your own team. Actually, this is all ad hoc. The moment you need someone, you just one phone call away. You
Course.
hire a
Of course.
photographer or
Yes.
videographer.
Yep.
And you might think this is silly. You are old school. You are too old for this stuff. No, trust me, no. We are missing out. And this is what I've been doing. And so far, again, the response has been phenomenal. I believe partially the response we had towards my event is the belief and trust of many people who didn't know me prior to this day, but they've seen, the history, they've seen my posts, my threads, and now they understand, they see who is the man behind the company. We work remotely, our team works remotely. We right now are having this conversation remotely.
Absolutely. Yes.
Being in the IT, we are losing this personal touch, and we don't know who is sitting. I might be a fake character. I might be using AI, right, to generate my voice and my picture, and this might be someone else sitting in front of you. You would never know that, right? It could be a very big deep fake. So by showing your real face, showing who's behind the company, showing the success story, you are becoming a transparent, CEO or
Absolutely.
CMO. People start trusting in your business and giving you their business. And
Yes.
this is what
I definitely agree. Trust factor starts in personal relationships. Absolutely.
absolutely. And you, Helmut, what you've been doing with this, with those with those videos, with those podcasts or the recordings, this is amazing. I mean, some people would get discouraged and post a video on YouTube and get like 50 views and say, "Oh, there's no one viewing." But it's about the persistence. Every single
Of
blogger.
course. Of
Open
course.
any famous influencer blogger. Go back to his very first video. Look at the quality. Look at the
Oh
comments.
God. Horrible.
Everyone
Horrible.
starts at square one. I
Yes. Absolutely.
started at zero. You started at zero, right?
Yeah.
And this is
Absolutely.
where we are right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
You have the
By
passion.
the way, all the domains, all the videos, dnmum.com
Yeah.
will be rebranded into domains.it.com.
Oh, nice. Beautiful domain
Bang.
name. Nice
Okay.
choice.
Nice choice, and it will also help our friend Andrew. So
Absolutely.
it helps
As a matter
everybody.
of
I
yeah, as
get
a
a
matter of fact,
fantastic domain name. Yes.
no,
Yeah.
beautiful. That's a great choice. I mean, it's short. It's to the point.
Fantastic.
And as a matter of fact, for those of you who don't know or haven't checked my LinkedIn, I also serve as an advisor to the IT.com project. So I sit on multiple chairs, IT.com, Domain Days, AEserver, and many other projects, not
Very nice.
from this field, but this is the beauty. You have to be multitasking. You have to be multi-sided. You have to be curious about different technologies here and there. Never stop learning. Continue networking. Expand your horizons. Don't say, "Oh, I don't want to spend money on a ticket to fly to London or fly to Dubai just to meet someone who I can meet online." No, it's not about just meeting. It's also about an experience, about flying, about visiting a new country, new city, meeting new people, experiencing new culture, new food. These are the most beautiful things in life, and
And
I
one connection at a business event can
can
change
change everything.
everything,
Can
everything,
change
the
everything.
cash flow, everything. We'll put you up on
we are an example of this. Me and you, Helmuts. We met just over a year ago.
Yes.
Actually, less than a year ago, right?
Yep.
So
yes.
And here we are today. We both are building events. We've got great followers. We've got partners and sponsors. A real business case. We bring value to the community, and here
we
we
share
are.
the connections with each other and
connections,
help each other. Yes.
And we have lots of things planned for the future of our events, which we can announce at a later stage, I believe. And it's all about the networking. Your network is your wealth, or your wealth is your network, whichever way you like it.
So what I would say, what is the best way to contact with you, Munir?
To contact me, I'm very active on LinkedIn. Munir Badr on LinkedIn. If it's related to the event, because this is the main project I am engaged on right now, it's domaindays.com. There is a live chat icon. It's either myself, our team members, my CMO, Jason Nickerson might be there to answer any questions, but I receive a copy of every conversation anyway, so I'm tracking it. It's a personal project. I'm personally doing everything from talking to sponsors to looking up the whole stage built up, what how the event will look, the banners, the pop-ups and everything else, the roll-ups, the pop-ups. So yeah, but LinkedIn is the best. I'm very active. Just shoot me a message. Please don't try to sell me your domain names. Recently, people are asking me, "Hey, I'm coming to domain days. I have these domain names. Can you sell them for me?" First of all, I don't sell any domain names, and I don't plan to sell any domain names at domain days event. You are more than welcome to come to domain name.
Absolutely.
Or a London summit, engage with people, find a broker maybe, or find a company who can sell this domain name for you. We are the platform. Just understand the difference between the platform and
organizers. We create you opportunities. We are not your end buyers.
Absolutely.
Please come and enjoy the opportunities. And the very, very last question before we wrap up. So there is that super yacht, and people have got their VIP tickets, and let us say they come in couples. Do they need to contact you to get their second half on the boat as well, or are they coming?
That's a good question. Thank you for that. That's a very important question, in fact. And this is a question which has been frequently asked on my LinkedIn as well. So the whole point of the yacht is, yes, it is going to be obviously fun, but it's about networking with fellow C-level executives, VIP badge holders, who are mostly very prestigious domain investors, company owners, CEOs, and whoever just bought the VIP badge, right? So we want to prevent this turning into more of a party. So again, if someone really wants to take their second half, they are welcome to purchase additional tickets. We cannot say no, you are welcome. But we don't have any arrangements that, yes, we do understand that. And I've actually thought and processed this initially when I received, I think, 3 or 4 queries on the first day of us going live.
I'm also thinking to come alone, or because together with somebody, and then
because also is the capacity, because right now we are approaching the sellout, and we are so we've got only 50 seats on the boat. And again, of course we can get a bigger boat, and this is something we are also exploring right now. But if it goes too big, then it turns into just another boat party, right? We still want the networking, the professional networking to go on. Our sponsors who are sponsoring the boat also have to get value, because they are also inviting. They have access to extra inventory of the tickets, and they can handpick. So my advice is to those who are looking to get on the boat is to basically talk to a sponsor who's sponsoring the boat or any other. All our sponsors have VIP tickets in their packages. I mean, some sponsors have, let's say, 5, but only 2 people from the company are attending, so they have 3 to give away. So again, I'm in no position to introduce you or to tell you go here or there. This is, again, you have to go approach the sponsor and see if they're willing to go. This is a purely business-to-business event.
And how long is going to be that boat trip?
It's around 3 to 4 hours, depending on the. But it starts at 5 p.m., but it depends also on the time we depart, the time we come back, and the conditions. Should be great.
So what else to add? 90 minutes we've been in. It is quite late.
Time flies with you, my friend.
Probably
Helmuts.
11:30. Yes.
It's 11:30 p.m. Again, that's totally fine for me.
And I would like to say I'm coming to Dubai myself as well. Munir is coming to London. We both understand the value of our network, the chances our network give us, the opportunities that open, the doors that are being opened as well. And there is a saying: early bird gets warm, or early warm.
Yeah.
In the networking, it is like that. If you go and network, you get all the worms. The one who doesn't network gets the leftovers. And most often, leftovers are not there.
Yeah. Especially,
nobody can take you, a watcher, my apologies, Munir, to a networking event. It is you who should do that. It is
correct.
You. It is in your hands. Get off your computer, plan 2-3 events a year, and go to them. If you are working in one field, go network and meet the industry players, the heavy hitters, the Tysons of the industries, and meet Munir and myself as well, and then we can help you with our connections.
Absolutely. If you want to reach to the same stage where me and Helmuts have reached, we've came to this. It's a long way that we've come through, is what I wanted to say. And it's years and years of building connections and networking. And these are the consequence of these connections.
Absolutely.
It's real business. It's a consequence, right? So just go out there, as Helmuts said, go network. This is an investment. You are investing into yourself. This is the most important thing. Yes, you might be paying for a ticket, as I said, you might be spending money on flight, but just don't look at it this way. Look at it from the positive side of things. Again, if you are serious about your business, you like this niche. And our niche, our industry,
absolutely,
it's not huge. Everyone knows each other. Just look at LinkedIn. The moment you add someone, you already have connections in common. This is not like, I don't know, a fitness industry, or I don't know, something completely like a food and beverage, Horeca or something of that sort. This is a very small community. Most company owners, C-level executives, they all know each other, and people move between companies. They change positions between companies. Today, this person works at company X, tomorrow he's at Y, and he's your deal changer.
Fantastic. So mark your calendars. August 22nd, 23rd, London Domain Summit, and November 1st and 2nd, Domain Days Dubai. Thank you, Munir. It is such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Helmuts, for having me. It's a pleasure. Now I'm proud and happy speaker at one of your live podcasts. Thank you so much. So Sam Charles is saying, I want to come to this. Sam, please come.
Just come.
Just come. Just go on the website, London.
Yes.
So summit.london and Domain Days Dubai, and book your tickets.
And maybe we can fly together. Sam.
Fly together.
We'll see.
Another networking opportunity.
Of course. All the best, and see you soon in London.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Habibi, come to Dubai. See you.